the Democratic Party is in a spiral of hatred and recriminations because Joe Manchin said the same thing he's been saying all along, which is I'm not going to sign on to a $5 trillion bill. So yesterday, the White House was ripping on Manchin, and then Jen Psaki was asked about ripping on Manchin, and she said, no regrets. Got a big tattoo across her neck that said, no regrets. Here was Jen Psaki, White House press secretary.
Is there any regret within the White House or within discussions with Democratic leadership just about how this negotiation went, given that statement from him that he feels that he's been badgered and beaten?
Well, that certainly is not our objective. Never has been our objective. But our objective is getting this legislation passed and reminding the American people and all people who could vote for it what the stakes are. So, no, we don't have regrets about aggressively communicating about it and making sure people understand that if we don't pass this legislation, costs for the American people will go up and economic growth projections will not go in the right direction.
Regrets, no regrets. She's got no regrets at all. I'm amused by the fact that the Democratic Party is now using Republican talking points with regard to this bill. It's going to lower your costs. It's going to stop inflation. Yeah, good luck with those arguments, guys. Meanwhile, Joe Manchin fired back. He's like, yeah, lady, I'm from a state called West Virginia that your president lost by 40 points. So no.
I'm not blaming anybody. I knew where they were, and I knew what they could and could not do. They just never realized it because they figure, surely to God we can move one person. Surely we can badger and beat one person up. Surely we can get enough protesters to make that person uncomfortable enough. They'll just say, okay, I'll vote for anything. Just quit. Well, guess what? I'm from West Virginia. I'm not from where they're from, and they can just beat the living crap out of people and think they'll be submissive. Period.
Okay, so there's Joe Manchin. This is over. The Biden White House, they're trying to claw it back. Today they've been like, well, Joe Biden personally didn't insult Joe Manchin. You think Manchin cares? Like Joe Biden has this great, wonderful relationship with Joe Biden? Yeah, good luck with that. Joe Manchin, he's like, the reason why I rejected their bill is because they kept giving me the same bill over and over and over, and they just kept lying about it.
The same bill I have in front of me right now that they kept putting in front of me was the same $6 trillion bill from the beginning. The only thing that changed was the time element which they would pay for things. And I said, that's disingenuous to tell someone who's getting a tax credit, it goes away in 1 year.
Okay, so meanwhile, the progressives in the party, they're thinking like, should we just get rid of Joe Manchin? Like, please keep doing this. Please keep whittling your party down. So Representative Pramila Jayapal, she's one of the leaders of the Progressive Caucus. And she says, Joe Biden told me that Joe Manchin was committed. I'm so surprised. I'm so shocked. Really? Are you, though? Because you shouldn't be.
It was a complete stunner, a complete shocker, because the president told me that Senator Manchin had committed to that framework that the president unveiled to us right before he went to COP26, and that was the framework that the Progressive Caucus then endorsed.
All of which prompted Wolf Blitzer to ask Jayapal, do you think that Manchin even belongs in your party? Manchin apparently is considering going independent, which in West Virginia is a smart move. Didn't hurt Bernie Sanders to be an independent socialist in Vermont. So if Manchin goes independent, he will still win elections in West Virginia, and then he gets to be the swing vote. By the way, if Joe Manchin becomes a Republican, he loses all power, right? Then he's just another Republican from a red state, and probably not the most right-wing Republican in West Virginia, like not even close, because he's kind of a Democrat, right? So him going independent is still a real possibility, and then he gets to decide every single election who he caucuses with, the Republicans or the Democrats. But here's Wolf Blitzer suggesting that the Democrats expel him. Yeah, please, go for it, guys. Do it.
Senator Manchin says he'd like to think there's still a place for him in the Democratic Party. Do you think he still belongs in the Democratic Party?
Go for it, man. Really, do it. Well, I mean, if AOC had her way, they would. AOC yesterday, she can always be counted on for the stupidest possible analysis of any given situation because she, of course, has the brain wattage of a frying pan. She says that the big problem here is that the Senate is an old boys club. Someone should tell that to Kirsten Sinema, who's the other vote, to not do this. Here's AOC.
What we really need to do is crack down on the Senate, which operates like an old boys club that has a couple of gals in it that have managed to break through. And we need to actually we actually need to implement some institutional discipline. If people want to threaten to block ambassadorships, if they want to threaten dysfunction, they actually need to show up and do it.
man, do it, man. This party is so dysfunctional. So the party's platform come 2022 is COVID shutdowns, mass testing, mass panic, high inflation, ripping on the independents who won't vote for your massive, stupid bills, and then jabbering to MSNBC. 2022 is going to be real bad for Democrats. I know what you're thinking. It's time to binge some more Ben Shapiro videos. Well, you are right. You should. But first, like and subscribe. Perfect. I'll see you in the next video.